Uh, hello, hello, hello. So welcome again. Welcome to Soul Infused Holidays. I just got kicked out from Facebook and I had to jump in real quick. So, and I appreciate my Instagram people having patience with me. So let me know if you see and hear me. I am super excited today to have you on the Soul Infused Holidays show. Today is day number 4. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I just had to laugh about something just before I cut it. And so that's why I'm smiling so much. So who's on here? Today, today the topic is boundaries and self-care, especially around the holidays. However, this is a topic that is relevant and important any day, any time of the year. So I'm super happy to talk about this today. And especially around the holidays, a lot of people really get stressed out and they don't take the time. And if you struggle with that already, even when it's not the holiday season, you might actually struggle with this a little bit more this time of the year. So welcome again. And let me tell you something. You get the most out of this Soul Infused Holidays special training that I'm doing if, number one, you show up, obviously, yeah? And if you're on the replay, I really acknowledge you for watching the replay and leave a comment below so I know that you're here. Or on Instagram, send me a message or leave me a comment on YouTube, wherever you're watching this on replay. Number 2, be there on time. Number 3, have a question or set an intention so that you get more out of it. Because often in my groups, when I work with, in my private groups or coachings, sometimes people are hesitant to ask a question, but when they do, then they get always a lot of insights and it benefits others as well because your question is someone else's question too. Okay, so if you're just jumping in, hit the like and the love button, share it with someone and so that I know you're here. Okay, Tina is here, hi. Paige is here, Darlene is here, fantastic, is hearing me, seeing me. Sarah is here, hi Sarah. So, tune in for a moment. What are your challenges or struggles or issues around boundaries and or self-care? Specifically around this time of the year, but in general. And if you're completely new to my show and someone invited you, welcome to my community. My name is Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and I'm here to help you ultimately to love and trust yourself, to connect to your soul, and to live and create the life that you're meant to live. So, boundaries. Who struggles to say no sometimes? If you're on the replay or if you're live, who struggles to say no sometimes? Just put in the comment section, me. Okay, and then I'm gonna give you a few exercise, a few insights on how you can shift that and help yourself to take better care of yourself. So, the foundation, let me tell you, and you might have heard this from me before, I believe that self-love is the foundation to inner peace and happiness, and the outside is a reflection of your inner world. If you are not happy on the outside, you might struggle with not having enough money, you may be stressed out, your relationship is not as well, or you would like to make a bigger difference in the world with your business, but you're kind of stuck. You don't change this on the outside. Everything is a reflection on how you are feeling about yourself, and not only on a conscious level, on an unconscious level. So the self-love and knowing who you are is the foundation to inner peace and happiness, and therefore also the solution for outer happiness and success. I also believe in order for you to love yourself and to feel worthy and to really step into your power to make that happen for you on the outside, is that you get to know yourself, and a huge part of it is to really reconnect to who you really are, to your authentic self, to your soul, to your higher being. And a lot of people come to me and want that, but they're not willing to do the work. So I'm just going to be straightforward with you today because I want to make a difference for you. If you want that, if you really want to set yourself free, if you want to love yourself, if you want to trust yourself, if you want to be out there and speak your message and be in truth with yourself and in alignment, you get to do the work, period. So don't fight it, don't deny it, don't come up with excuses. You get to do the work, and it's the most amazing and most rewarding thing that you can do. And it all relates to boundaries and self-care as well. So I want to see who, yeah. Karen is here too, myself, Darlene, especially around food is a social gathering, anxiety crops. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Boundaries, saying no and taking care of yourself can be sometimes a real challenging thing. And it gets back to how important are you to yourself? So it's two pieces, especially with boundaries. And it's more than two pieces, but I'm going to point out the two most important pieces. Is the inner part. How are you feeling about yourself? How much are you putting yourself first? How important are you to yourself? How serious are you taking yourself? And how much time are you taking for yourself? And how committed are you to yourself? And how much are you standing up for yourself? How much are you an advocate for yourself? So that's one thing, and you can tune into that. That's one piece. And the other piece is to really learn, once you have that capacity, to learn to set boundaries in a way that are actually effective. And that's where energy comes in. Because just saying a word, no, that alone doesn't help. Because I'm sure you've had that experience that you might have verbalized, or you might have thought that you set a boundary, but it wasn't respected. And you think, oh, they don't respect my boundaries. No, your boundary wasn't strong enough, or not impactful enough, or not clear. So it's both ways. The inner work for you to have a feeling of, I am worthy, I am standing up for myself, I'm important enough for myself, I'm taking care of myself, and then to learn how to set a boundary that is actually respected. And I really know how it is not being able to do that, because I was a total people pleaser, always nice, always saying yes. And when I said something, it came up with a smile, afraid of being hurt, afraid of being rejected, afraid of what someone would say to me. So my boundary would maybe say, yeah, haha, no, like in a way that, it didn't make any impact versus, and write this down, because this is one phrase that you can use to set a boundary. So if you don't have something to make notes, take notes. This is one thing that also I would recommend to get the most out of this training. Write this down. I am not available. I'm not available for this. It's simple, write it down. I am not available. I'm not available. So it's not, you don't have to justify, you don't have to explain. If there's something that you feel it's not in alignment, that there's a no inside of you, you simply say, no, I'm not available. Does that make sense what I'm saying, guys? Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so in order to set boundaries around, and food, by the way, Darlene mentioned food, and I'm going to do one day about food actually in particular, because I know a lot of people struggle. I mean, if you know me, I was on my first diet when I was 14. I am highly damaged, was highly food eating disorder, binging, overeating, like I know it all, emotional eating. And so I know a lot about it, and I know how stressful that can be, especially around the holidays. So I'm going to have one day where I'm going to talk about this particularly. But I'm just mentioning it because that's a boundary issue too, but it's more internal, and also to heal the wounds that are underneath that makes us grab the food, okay? I'm going to dive way deeper into that, and that's going to be next week at some point. So just show up, come. So first of all, you want to make a decision for yourself that you are important enough, and you want to put yourself first to practice and to learn how to say no and how to set healthy boundaries. Because without that commitment, without that decision, without that willingness, you're not going to learn it, because we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and then somehow we suddenly we believe or expect a different result, even though we do the same thing over and over again. So if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, if you keep setting your boundaries the way you've been doing it and the way you've learned, and they're not working, it won't work unless you learn to do it in a different way. And the first step is to decide and to set the intention that you are important enough, because you are and you matter, and it's your health and your well-being that's on the line. And you might have heard this before. When you take care of yourself first is when you truly can care about someone else. Because otherwise, when you keep saying no, and when you keep saying yes to something that's internally a no, you will build resentment, and it will come out in different ways. Okay, can you resonate with that? And if you have a particular question, please feel free, put them here. I will give you feedback on it. Paige is saying, I say a lot of no, I don't have the money and don't feel very good about it. Yes, thank you for sharing that. That's a totally different story, by the way. It is not so much a boundary issue, but I'm gonna bring it up because a lot of people are challenged with that, especially around Christmas when there's a lot of investment or spending a lot of money. I don't have money, it generally doesn't feel good because it's not the truth. The truth is, you don't want to invest in it, or you don't want to go through the effort to getting the money to invest in it. Maybe you don't feel worthy enough to earn money. Maybe you're physically inhibited, but it's not so much about the money. It's about the energy you put in your system when you say, I don't have. So instead of saying, I don't have, you say, I choose. Because if you really want something, you will make it happen. Because, and I'm sometimes a little dramatic in order to make a point, but imagine that your best friend or your child or someone you dearly love gets abducted, and they say to you, if you don't give me $10,000, you're never gonna see this person again. Would you say, oh, sorry, I don't have the money? I mean, no. You would say, I will do whatever it takes to get the money. There's no question. You would do whatever it takes, and you know what? You would come up with that money. You would come up with $10,000 in any way. Why? Because it's urgent, it's important to you. So to say I don't have it puts you in a state of incapacity, that you're not capable, that you're not able, and that's never the truth. And the truth never feels good. So it's actually not about the money, and I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. Let me know if this is helpful, Paige, or anyone that is watching. And if you can relate to that, you know what I mean. So let's recap for the boundaries. And because these are such a big topic, I'm gonna dive deeper more tomorrow into the self-care, because I'm gonna give you really 3 great exercises to boost your energy that you can use. So you definitely wanna be there tomorrow. And I'm going to dive deeper into self-care, and I will give you 3 exercises where you can boost your energy that will help you to take care of yourself any day, anywhere, specifically around the holidays. So, number 1, set an intention, decide that you are important enough. Number 2, practice, get started. You are not going to be graceful in the beginning. If you're having a hard time saying no, hey, I was so bad in setting boundaries in the beginning. I mean, when I look back now, it was like horrendous. And I judged myself for it, and I was ashamed, but I knew if I don't learn how to set boundaries, I'm gonna stay depressed. I'm also always gonna say no against me. I'm not gonna be respected and taken seriously, because people who never set boundaries get stepped over all the time. You get taken advantage. People take advantage of you if you're not able to say no. It's not their fault, it's not their responsibility, it's yours. And I was so bad at it in the beginning. And so I'm saying this because there's no way from going to, I don't know how to set boundaries, to, oh, I'm so good at setting boundaries. overnight, right? So it's a journey, trust the process, so practice. And simply by saying once in a while, no, I'm not available. And then you choose, no, I'm not available. I'm gonna do what feels in the best for me and it's in alignment with me. So if you're here still live, let me know if this resonates with you and let me know if this is valuable, or simply hit the love or like button, because then I know you're still hearing me, you're still seeing me, and I'm still here, because sometimes technology is funny, and it happened before that I was talking once and talking and no one was listening. So I just want to make sure you guys hear me and this is valuable. Okay, give me the love and then, okay, God, awesome. So I'm going to be here a few more minutes. What is your question around boundaries or self-care? And tomorrow I'm going to go deeper into what does it really mean, self-care? Self-care is everywhere right now. You know, yeah, take care of yourself. But what does it really mean to take care of yourself, and how? And how can you take care of yourself when you have a sense of, oh my God, I have so much on my plate, and I have, maybe you have children and pets and a job, and the Christmas is coming up and you have to cook and all that stress. Even if I think about it, no wonder everybody is stressed out. First of all, what do? What is the first thing you always do when you're stressed out? You take a breath. Always. You take a breath and you do one little exercise for you to set boundaries and to take better care of yourself. First thing is you decide. I keep repeating this so often, and it sounds like a broken record, but I tell you, if you don't do that first step, nothing else that you do afterwards will work. Nothing else will work afterwards. If you don't decide and you don't commit to yourself, nothing else will work. No book that you're reading, no thing that you're listening to, no, oh, I should have, could have. No, you decide and you take one little step at a time. Emily has a question. How do I not go into guilt after the no? Okay, great question. I would first rephrase it so that you focus on what you want versus what you don't want. That's valuable for everyone. Instead of saying, how do I not go into guilt after the no? How do you want to feel instead, Emily? How do you want to feel instead of guilty? Maybe you want to feel relaxed. Maybe you want to feel joyful. Maybe you want to feel free. So tune in what it is that you want to feel instead of guilt and write it in the comment section. And I know this applies to so many. So you, even if it's not your personal question, check in. Do I feel guilty when I say no? And how do I want to feel instead? That's the first piece. And you focus on how you want to feel instead. Does that make sense? Energy follows attention. So, and this is not an easy thing to answer right away, because the question is, why do you feel guilty, and what are the underlying wounds and issues and beliefs that let that feeling come up. So the first thing I want to say to you first, besides of focusing on the other feeling that you want to feel, be okay in the beginning or for now that you feel guilty. And the first thing is, you don't get rid of the guilt. You first want to acknowledge it. You want to own it. You want to be with it. And I spoke about that, about how to deal with emotions, you remember, and how to deal with triggers. And this relates to all of you. You breathe, you own it, you accept it. And then you go deeper and you do the work, and you are doing the work. So you are totally good, and you're going to get there. To what's still attached to the guilt, what's underneath the guilt. But the number one thing, don't focus on getting rid of the guilt. First, be in the breathing and the embracing and the holding the space. When you said no and you feel guilty, you say, part of me is feeling guilty. Remember, we spoke about yesterday about the inner child, and that's Emily, because it's in my programs. That doesn't apply to you. You're still valuable for you. It's you detach it from your whole being. You are not the guilt. It's an experience. that you are experiencing at that moment. And it's part of you learning how to say no without feeling guilty, is to go through that discomfort and through those issues that make you still feel guilty. Is this valuable, Emily? Confident, love it. Let me know if this is helpful, Emily, and we can dive deeper in it in one of our calls. So instead of saying, how do I not feel guilty? It's like, how do I feel confident, or how can I feel confident when I say no? Even when you say it this way, it feels so different. Do you feel the energy? Thank you for the question. Great, great question, Emily. Yes, okay, super. Okay, fantastic. So to recap, first step you do, you decide, you set the intention that you want to be better with your boundaries, that you are important enough. And then you take one step at a time. One simple exercise that you can use is to internally say first and externally, I'm not available. And then then you deal with the emotion underneath. Because saying no is not the problem. The problem is how you deal with the response and how do you feel about yourself. And then taking care of yourself, we're going to dive deeper into that tomorrow. And I'm going to also share 3 ways how you can boost your energy in order to take better care of yourself. And you can use that for any day, but especially for the holidays. I hope this was valuable to you. If you got value out of this, please share it with a friend, share it with someone that can benefit from this, and or leave me a comment below so that I know that this is helpful. Have a fantastic rest of the day. I will see you tomorrow, and practice saying no to something today that you might say yes, but just because out of fear of obligation and not because it's authentic. Okay, much love, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.